pleased to announce the first stage of our upgrade to the Lawlex platform. We know that users of Lawlex appreciate how easy the site is to use, and we want to enhance this experience. Whilst the core functionality of the site isn't going to change, we are performing upgrades to Lawlex over the course of the next few months. Some of these new developments include an overhauled homepage, which brings important information front and center, new centralized alerts where you can manage your alerts for legislation, subjects of interest, and your news feeds in a single location, bookmarks where you can easily bookmark legislation, a condensed alert archive which allows you to easily browse historical alerts for legislation and other various user interface enhancements. We thank you for your patience during this time, and we welcome any and all feedback on these changes should you have any. Searching for legislation is incredibly easy in the overhauled Lawlex. Directly from the homepage, I can perform a keyword search. In the search results page, I can further refine the results by jurisdiction and document type here on the left-hand side. What I'll do is specify that I'm specifically looking for a principal act in the Commonwealth jurisdiction that contains the keywords work, health and safety. Hit apply, and this is the result that I'm looking for. When I click through to that, I come to what we call the core document homepage. All legislation on the platform has its own page such as this, and it contains all of the information that is provided to us from the source, which in this case is the Federal Register of Legislation. To view the legislation, as well as the explanatory statements and historical versions, click the link. These are external links that will take you away from the Lawlex site and to the source of the legislation. Using this panel on the right-hand side, you can view the commencement dates and information. You can also see a history of amendments to the title. If an act has regulations that it governs, you are able to view them by clicking this button here. This takes you through to the corresponding regulation that is governed by the Act. Now I'm on the document homepage for the regulations, and similarly I'm also able to go the other way and view the governing acts for that regulation. You are also able to access an archive of every alert we have ever sent out for a given piece of legislation by clicking on the link to read the alert summaries. This page contains a list of all of the alerts we have ever sent out for a given piece of legislation, including the original alert back when this was first introduced as a bill. Setting up alerts in the Lawlex platform is incredibly easy. In order to do this, from the homepage, simply click on the My Alerts tile and click Add to Alert Profile, and we'll start off with subjects of interest. When you first arrive to this page, you will be looking at a summary of your alerts, but we do need to initially set them up. So choose Select Your Alerts, and we will start off by setting up your alert profile based on subjects of interest. These are broad categories of legislation, and what we do is we set up your alert profile to capture legislation that you may not have been aware of that falls into a particular jurisdiction and subcategory. So, for example, if I wanted to track all new legislation that is released within New South Wales or Victoria that relates to aged care or disability services, for example, I simply expand the health subcategory and make my selections. This is probably the most time-consuming part of the setup, and I say that it takes all of about 15 minutes to set it up the first time, although you can always come back and remove or add extra topics of interest. Make your selections, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click Save and Continue, and you will see a small summary of the parameters that you are setting for your subjects of interest. Once you've created your subjects of interest, it's now time to go and select legislation. This can be done by selecting the Legislation tab, and again, all of the legislation is sorted into categories as well as jurisdictions. So what you can do, for example, is apply those filters here. We'll then go and have a look under health and specifically under aged care, and we'll find all of the acts and regulations that fall under this jurisdiction and category. What I'll do is just select all of those. I'll then go down to disability services and select those. And again, once I've made my selections, Click Save and Continue at the bottom of this tab. You'll then also see a summary of all of the legislation you are adding. Click Confirm. The final part of the setup is where you can select bills that you would like to track as they make their way through the system. You're able to refine again by jurisdiction, and it is listed alphabetically. So you can simply go through, make your selections, and click Save and Continue at the bottom. That is the setup of the platform done. And now that the profile has been set up, you will start to receive alerts once per 24 hours, depending on the number of items of legislation and subjects of interest you are tracking. If you do need help, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us, whether that be directly through your account manager. Alternatively, you can contact our legislation support team. Their email address is legislationhotline@saiglobal.com. Thank you very much.